And welcome to this session. Thank you for everyone who's going to be watching this later on, or anyone who's going to be tuning in, whatever time we jump into this live. Welcome to today's session. My name is Eva, an intuitive healer, certified soul element practitioner, certified quantum flow practitioner. I like calling myself an authenticity coach, an empowerment coach, because I'm all about really connecting you back to your true self, your true divine nature, and empowering you to awaken your full potential and live and create the kind of experience that you were designed to create for yourself. Okay. So before we get started, I'm going to be explaining more about what soul element and quantum flow is at the end of the session. So if you're curious and want to walk one-on-one with me, make sure you tune in until the end. I'll be leaving a link to that and how you can book a session with me for these two modalities. Okay. So I love starting my lives by sharing my lesson for the week. Anyone who's been watching my videos, my biggest passion in life is just to learn, to grow, to evolve. I love learning. That's pretty much where I spend most of my time. And I'm going to be sharing more about that. This week, my biggest lesson that I wanted to embody, or I'm now starting to train myself to embody within me. It's the realization that in the world we live in, like the information that's currently available for all of us, it's a lot. I mean, you can't compare right now with how life was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, there's a lot of information and so many sources that you can get this information from. I think we're living in an age of information overload, right? And it's so easy to get lost in curiosity, wanting to learn, wanting to discover so many new things. And I'm speaking from experience because, again, my passion is learning. So I'm always like, ooh, what does this person say? Like, I love listening to different perspectives and trying to find things that can start embodying and new teachings and all of that. That's me. But there is a really fine line between information and overload for yourself and actually distracting yourself from your human experience, which is where a lot of people get lost in. I mean, you go to social media, if you've ever gone through the doom scrolling, you're only supposed to be there for 5 minutes, 2 hours later, you're still scrolling because there's a ton of information. We've been given that beautiful gift to just share ourselves and our ideologies with the world, which is beautiful. I'm not saying no to that because I've certainly learned a lot from everyone I watch, whether on social media, even if it's a 2 minute clip, a 30-second clip, I still learn something. So I love that. But we really need to be careful with whether we're watching it, we're allowing ourselves to integrate information that's actually helpful to our experience, or we're just creating more distractions for our human experience. This is why you get yourself scrolling for 2 hours on social media, not really learning anything or consuming anything that's meaningful to you, but just for the sake of wasting time, for the sake of distracting yourself from something important that you know very well you're supposed to be doing. I'm sharing with you that this week it was a beautiful, beautiful teaching I was tapping into, which said that instead of being lost in the information overload and all of that information, we need to tap into wisdom when you're doing this, discernment when you're doing this, meaning that you need to train yourself to only listen or consume information that actually directly impacts your current human experience or how you operate in the world, your experience with others. So if you're consuming information that actually helps to uplift your life, changes your perspective in a beautiful way, in a way that actually positively impacts you, or you're consuming something that if you share with other people, it can also impact your relationship with other people or help someone else who might need this information through your share, then by all means, that's okay. But anything else that distracts you from or takes you away from your current human experience, you need to tune out. For example, I know we live in an age where celebrity and all of that, like people are so curious about what this celebrity is wearing, what this celebrity is doing, and all of that. And I'm in no way attacking anyone with this, but I'm just saying, if you were to be honest with yourself, why on earth do you need to know what a celebrity does in their home, what they eat? Okay. Sorry, there is some information they do share because, of course, if they're sharing about health, like this is what I consume, this is what my skin looks like, this and all of that, and it's actually helpful, no problem. But sometimes you get so distracted that you want to know their relationships and what they think about this and all of that. And it's not really information that is helping you when you get so sucked in into the world of gossip. If you were to be honest with yourself, some of this information that we consume actually has no impact on your life. And I want you, whatever it is you're consuming, really bring awareness to yourself. Like, how has my life been different from just watching this? Has anything changed for me? Okay, because yes, I can consume for curiosity purposes. Like, yeah, I, I don't know how to explain it better than this, but you know yourself best. If at all you're consuming information that really doesn't adds no value to your life, maybe get honest with yourself that you really don't need to know and focus on yourself. Focus on things that actually help uplift you, not just for curiosity, just to satisfy. Because remember, that's the realm of the ego mind. It loves to keep you distracted. Because as long as you're distracted, you're in your comfort zone. You're not doing anything different that threatens the ego. So really be aware of that, okay? So I hope that lesson has helped you. I'm learning to embody that because trust me, I also find myself doom scrolling. Sometimes we'll have it, oh, I'm so curious about this. But I'm really starting to bring that awareness and being present in every moment to be aware that whatever I'm consuming is something that actually directly influences, not in a negative way, but positively influences my life. Okay. So I hope this share helps you all as well. And let me know, what have you learned in the last week, the last month, the last year? I love to know from you. So make sure you leave your comment section with your lessons and let's learn from each other, because I do want to create a community where we can tap into different perspectives, different ideologies, because you never know. Someone will actually share just one tiny thing that you needed to hear for that day. So by all means, do not hold yourself back. Share your lessons, share your ideas, and let's see if we can learn and tap into each other's beautiful perspectives. Okay. So today I want to talk about a matter that, has been part of my experience in the past until I was actually able to release the previous belief patterns that were keeping me in that thought stream. And that is the whole idea that when people start saying, like, I really don't know if I should be in this world right now, like, I don't see the meaning for my life, which you hear a lot of people, I think it's one of the struggles that a lot of people have. Why am I here? Why am I here now? When I'm not seeing any meaning to my life, I've lost passion for everything, My life has become such uh, I'm trying to find the word for it, but it's just the same thing that you're doing. You wake up, you take breakfast, you go to work, you come back, you go to sleep, like the same monotonous routine to the point that you're like, why am I here? Am I actually serving a purpose by being here? If I was not here, will the world really be different? And let me know your thoughts on this if you've ever struggled with this at any moment in your life. I know for sure that that was part of my struggle for some time, but luckily I was able to shift out of this with this beautiful practices that I've been tapping into. And I'm going to be sharing more on that at the end of this live. So make sure you tune in and watch that. Okay. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is I had a sudden realization this week, just reflecting on this, that do you know how when you make a bad meal, and maybe assuming like you put in your effort, you cut up the onions and all of that, the best recipe, and then the food ends up getting burnt, or it ends up getting too salty or too something and you can't even consume it. Or maybe it's some food that was really good and then maybe you left it out for too long and then it ended up getting spoiled. What do you normally do in that case? Do you normally say, like, I know there's a lot of regret, of course, because you put in a lot of time and effort to create that and you were hoping that it was gonna turn out good, or you were hoping that, you're gonna consume the food for some time after all the effort you put in. But if it's spoiled, what other choices do you have? Because consuming that will mean that you end up getting sick. Okay. Consuming that will end up put you in a hospital bed. So you can't do that. So what do people do? We throw that food away, right? Because it serves no purpose. It adds no value to your life. And how I want you to tie this down to your purpose in life. Think of yourself as the creator of your own existence, whatever it is. And it doesn't even have to be food, it could be anything that you've actually created. It could be an Excel sheet, a document that you've created. What normally happens if you happen to create something that really doesn't match your expectation, doesn't give you the kind of outcome that you're envisioning, you go back and correct it, right? You get rid of it, or you start over again, or you find a way to just correct the mistakes within it to create whatever it is that embodies that idea that you had in your mind. We do that all the time. Now, how I want you to look at it is that if at all there was no meaning for your existence, no purpose for your existence in this life, and think of yourself as the creator, okay? Put yourself in the mind of a creator, right? The creator who created you, if he had no purpose for you, if for real you were this spoiled, horrible, you turned out horrible and all of that, what will the creator do? He'll simply get rid of you, right? I mean, we do it all the time. We'll get rid of them because it's useless. It serves no purpose. You turned out horribly. I put in my effort to create this beautiful complexion, this beautiful hair, this beautiful hands, this beautiful feet, and all of that, only for you to turn around and insult me and not do what I created you to do. I get rid of you. Well, who on earth as a human would actually tolerate any kind of disrespect by something or any kind of negative reaction from something that it has control over, something you've created? If you created it, you can uncreate it and create something else that matches to your values, to your ideology. If you put yourself in that mind of creatorship, for lack of a better word, if you truly did not mean to exist because you have this belief system that I'm worthless, I'm not enough, I shouldn't be here, someone made a mistake and and gave back to me by mistake and all of that, if that was actually true, you would actually not exist. Why will the creator create something it does not need and serves no purpose? He's the creator. They will just be as simple as just not even a snap of a finger, just a mere word, be gone. And that's it. You will cease to exist for all of eternity. He is the creator of everything that you see around you. I was looking at, I'm currently reading a book, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, and that's one book that I will highly recommend for you to read. I'm just in the beginning pages and still I haven't gone so much through, but I'm still reading through. There's so many beautiful insights. But in one instant, when Neil is asking, God is conversing with Neil, he says that, look at how perfectly I created a snowflake. And I actually went and Googled images of a snowflake, the beautiful images of what actually makes up a snowflake. It's such beautiful geometric patterns. Like it's unimaginable, and it's a tiny little snowflake. And God is saying to Neil Donald Walsh, if I took so much care to create that tiny little thing that most of you don't even think about, tiny little snowflake that it's just like a dot to you, means nothing. He took so much time to create such perfection in one tiny little snowflake. How much more time did he spend on creating you? So when you have that belief that I don't matter, I shouldn't exist, I'm worthless, please remember that we're living in a world, an information overload, right? There are so many views coming from people in society, so many people believing or wanting you to believe that if you don't look a certain way, if you don't talk a certain way, if you don't dress a certain way, then something is wrong with you. That is not the truth. The same effort that went into creating that tiny snowflake, I will say even more effort went into creating the perfection that you are right now. So there's no way that God will take all the time in creating you and then let you exist to serve no purpose. If you're here, there's a reason for you to be here. A creator will not create something that it does not need. And if it created something that it does not need, basically get rid of it. We do it all the time. This is the analogy I was given with the food, that when we create things we don't like, we get rid of them. They serve no meaning, right? So if at all again, and I will keep stressing this, if you were not meant to exist, you will not exist. You serve a purpose for being here, okay? And another thing that, I was having a conversation with people, some people yesterday about those people or this idea that, life is so difficult right now. For some people, yes, I do not challenge that. But for a relative, a kind of group of people, like we're actually enjoying so much freedom right now compared to who we used to be in the past. When people will just wake up and decide we're going to invade that country and that will happen, and you had no choice whether you wanted to serve in the military or not, you had to go to war because you were a man and you were of a certain age. You had no choice, you just had to get conscripted. We don't have that right now. Right now, we have so much freedom to tap into what we truly are. Not everyone wants to serve. Not everyone wants to be in the field fighting, right? We're given that freedom. We never used to have that in the past. And let's go to women. Women were just property. Women didn't have rights. What I'm doing right now, I will never have been able to do years ago, decades ago. We didn't have freedom. We didn't have, I don't want to say decades, but I want to say, like, that time, there's a time where women didn't have rights to vote, to share their opinions, to hold a job. We didn't have any of that. We have freedom to do that right now. A woman's value was tied to, you had to get married, you had to have a certain amount of kids, you had to do this and this, like so many things. Right now, we're living in an age where if a woman doesn't want to get married, don't get married. Doesn't want to have kids, don't have kids, right? No one is actually inputting that. We still have people who have that same mindset, but essentially, no one is actually forcing you to go out there and do something you don't want to do. Okay. So when you're living in that freedom, and so many choices available to us for the first time in our entire human existence, especially with this current age we're living in, this is the first time that we're actually free to be who we actually are. And that idea of you can actually create an abundant, beautiful experience for yourself here, not in the afterlife, like we've been taught, or based on the old teachings where we had to go through suffering right now to justify or give us a ticket to the kind of life we'll enjoy after we transition. That's no longer the case. You actually have the brilliant opportunity, so many teachings, so many practices that can help you bring that, I want to say, heaven to earth. We living in an age that you can actually do that. And so many people are actually tapping into that, creating abundance for themselves in all aspects of their life, not just money, in health, in relationships, all of that, actually bringing that. And they're actually there. So don't pay attention to the ones who are, making you believe that it's not possible for you to have everything. There are so many people who are living that kind of life. They might not be vocal about it, but if you put your mind that I'm gonna find people who do this, you're gonna see a ton of them all around you. So for the first time, we've been given an opportunity to do that for ourselves. So it's no longer about escaping the physical reality, but actually finding a way to create that abundant and beautiful experiences for ourselves in the now. Why am I bringing this right now? It's because when someone looks at you and tells you that you should not exist because you're from this race, from this country, and you're all those whatever, guess what? The same divine spark that is in them is also in you. The same divine spark that is in all these people who are able to create these beautiful experiences for themselves is also in you. No one is above, no one is below. We're all given a beautiful opportunity to create those experiences for ourselves, but we have to choose it for ourselves. God is not going to come here and tell you, like, now you have to go like this. The most beautiful gift we were all given was free will. So he gives you the resources and tells you, okay, go create. I'm not going to determine what you want to cook with all these ingredients I've given you. You decide. So if you want to choose a life based on suffering and pain and all of that and complaining and thinking that you're worthless, by all means, go do that. He's never going to stop you. He gives you freedom to be who you want to be. And this is the age for you to be anything that you want to be. So if at all you're watching this and you're thinking that life is about suffering, no. I know it's a truth that's very hard to hear, but if you're stuck in that mentality that you have to experience pain, you have to experience suffering, that there's always gonna be a struggle, that does not have to be the case. You can actually, at this very moment, choose to let go of the struggle and choose to tap into that divine spark, that divine birthright that each one of us has, and create the kind of experience you want for yourself. But by no means you let anyone make you feel worthless. And remember that you're choosing to let them make you feel worthless. No one can make you do anything. You have the power to say, no, I know who I am. I don't care if you have your own opinions. You're free to have your own opinions, okay? You're free to judge me. You're free to tell me, oh, I don't dress nicely. I don't wear this kind of expensive. By all means, I can't change that. But if I choose not to accept that and believe you, guess what? They'll just be meaningless words, okay? So don't listen to anyone who makes you feel like you're worthless. You're not. If you were worthless, you will simply not exist. If you were not meant to be here, you will not be here. That's how I want you to look at it. So anytime you find yourself having those kind of thoughts, remember your mind has a way of tricking you and it loves keeping you stuck in that negative kind of environment. Just bring awareness back to the now and remind yourself, if I'm here for a reason. I'm here to serve a purpose. Okay. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. And the last thing I wanted to mention, actually, sorry, just checked my notes, is based on this also. When again, someone is telling you that you don't matter, you're worthless, and you should not exist, remember that there's a reason why we are so uniquely different. Even our twins, a twin might look at, the fellow twin or the fellow triplet or whatever and think that we look the same, but their personalities are completely different. There is a unique perspective and a unique experience that each one of us is meant to have. We're not all meant to be the same. We're not all meant to see the world in the same way. So even when someone tells you that you have nothing to contribute to the world, maybe for them, whatever you're saying doesn't resonate with them, and that's okay. Go find your tribe elsewhere. Because trust me, we live in a beautiful age that connects all of us through the internet. I mean, if you're watching me, I don't even know where you're watching me from, whichever country. The very fact that you're watching me means that we're actually connected. Something that I'm saying right now maybe resonates with you. There's a reason for that, right? We're all connected, but we're not meant to be the same. And in my perspective, I completely believe that the uniqueness that each one of us has is to inspire, first of all, each other. Because based on now what I was saying before, that there are people who are able to create those kind of abundant experience for themselves. And remember that abundance is very subjective. So my view of abundance might be completely different for you. So tap into whatever abundance means for you and go find whatever inspiration you need to bring that into your life, okay? Will be completely different. But sometimes, because we've lived in a very, what is it called? Constricted society, maybe you might not have been exposed to so much. We need to go beyond our current environment to see what is actually possible. Meaning that, just giving an example, if you were probably born into a community where no one, or a family where probably everyone is an alcoholic, no one has ever gone to college and all of that, it might mean for you to actually believe it's possible for you, you might have to tap out of that environment. And this is what connects all of us. Because someone else, you might watch a video, someone saying that, yes, I came from this background, but through this and this and this, I was able to get a college degree and get a great job and create an amazing. I never get inspired to do that for yourself. I hope that resonates with you. So we exist to inspire each other, meaning that there's something I could be doing. You could even watch me and say, hey, you mean I can actually go live? I know for sure. I never knew I could do live um videos for myself. I had to see it in someone else and think like, oh, because I had this weird perspective that when you go live, you had to behave a certain way and do this in like I thought it was very structured. But then I saw someone else who gave me the freedom to just be myself. I never would have thought of that had I not seen that person. So we exist to serve as inspiration for each other of what to do. And again, also as deterrence of what not to do. So you don't have to experience or go through robbery or go and rob a bank to know that that is wrong. You've seen a ton of people get arrested or something bad happening to them just based on that wrong choice that they made. So do you have to go and rob a bank to experience what being in jail is? No. So you're living through someone else's experience. I don't need to experience your pain for me not to tap into that. I've seen what you, and that's enough. I don't have to go experience being conned by someone for me to know what to listen to and what to be discerning about whenever someone is trying to take advantage of me. The very fact that you shared the experience, that's enough for me. So anytime I meet someone who's trying to take advantage of me, I'm going to have your experience in my mind. I'm going to be thinking, oh, this is what not to do. Because when that person did that, they got conned. Do you see what I mean? So we exist to serve as examples for each other. And you never know who you're actually inspiring. You have no idea who you're capable of touching, even with a simple smile. Just one day, maybe someone is having the worst possible day and you just happen to smile at them. Just that tiny little action, boom, lifts someone else's up. Someone now started believing, oh, there are good people in the world. Maybe their entire mindset was that no one cares about me, no one sees me. And just by the simple gesture of a smile, a simple hi, kindness, very simple, you completely shifted someone's perspective. So please never, ever, ever convince yourself that you don't serve a purpose. You might not see it because your ego mind has convinced you otherwise, but again, and I will keep saying this until it gets into your mind. If you exist for a reason, you exist to serve a purpose. Connect with your inner self, connect with your higher self, connect with your divine guidance, whatever that looks for you, God, angels, your guides, and all your spirit guides. I don't care. Connect with that to get an essence of what that is and how you can actually tap into that as you live day by day. Okay. So I'm going to end my live right now. I hope I've shared beautiful perspectives with you. I love to know your thoughts on this in the comments. So let me know your thoughts and share your experiences with me. Again, we can really learn from each other. And whatever perspective you have, you never know. Even if it does not inspire me, if you're called to share, probably whatever words you're going to share is going to touch someone else who needs to see that comment. So never hold yourself back, okay? So thank you so much for tuning to watch this. Make sure that you subscribe. I do my best to go live every Sunday, unless that changes. You never know. I just leave one day at a time and I just go with the flow. But for now, I always go live at this time. So make sure you join me in my next live if you want a chance to interact with me and ask any questions you have for me. Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe and also click on the notification bell. And yeah, so that you actually get alerts of every time I go live. So I actually started something this the last couple of weeks where I've been sharing a meditation with this live. The last time I did it, remember, I've been doing a trial on LRR to see what works, what doesn't work. The last live I did, the meditation went great, but the editing part was really difficult because I love extracting the meditation later to upload it as a separate meditation for anyone who might not want to go through the whole scrolling part. The editing part was difficult, so I'm gonna do this. I'll be recording, unless that changes, I'll be recording a separate meditation for this to help you really embody everything that I've spoken about today. And I'm gonna be leaving a link to that in the comment section. So make sure you tune in and watch out for that. And also click on the notification bell because once it actually gets uploaded, then you can be able to tap in and you'll be able to discover that if you're not click on the notifications. Also make sure you do that, okay? So I love ending my life by sharing more about my work and how I can actually help you tap into that, your true divine nature and awaken your full potential and really empower you to be who you were meant to be in this lifetime, okay? So I'm going to share my screen for a bit and hopefully everything goes well. Okay, so give me a minute to get everything ready just to share more about my work and share. So I do work with two modalities. I'm a certified soul alignment practitioner and I'm also a certified quantum flow practitioner. The soul alignment is basically a spiritual healing modality that is based on working with the Akashic records and helping you to really understand your soul's true nature, your uniqueness. What unique abilities are you here to contribute to this world? What unique gifts, what unique abilities can you tap into to create your beautiful human experience? Because here's the thing. How I'm meant to experience life is not how you're meant to experience life. And the beauty of this soul alignment is that it helps you realign your current human experience and how you're showing up with your original divine soul blueprint, because every one of us has a unique coding, a unique code that we're supposed to tap into to experience life as we were meant to live it. Okay. So the course principles of soul alignment is number one, giving you practical, useful information that actually has transformational value. So what I mean by this is, remember I was talking about the information overload before, where we live in a world where there's so much information. And if you're not discerning about what is actually distracting you from human experience and what actually impacts your human experience, you can actually get lost in all of this. So it's soul alignment, it's actually tapping into your own Akashic records. So the Akashic records is kind of like an energetic spiritual database of all our souls, all our experiences, all our choices, all our consequences, both in our past lives and even in our present, and sometimes even being able to tap into possible future timelines for yourself, which is not what we do with soul alignment, okay? So it's actually reading your own Akashic records, helping you identify your true soul's divine nature, and helping you identify how you are supposed to operate in the world, what constitutes positive choices for yourself that help you create positive karmic experiences for yourself, and what contributes negative karmic experiences also that takes you or negates you from your soul's true nature. It's based on also giving you fuel and choice, because how again you choose to interpret the information you get from a reading is entirely up to you. In no way, shape, or form is any spiritual person or any spiritual leader or teacher supposed to tell you what to do. You have the same divine spark that I do or any other teacher does. And what this modality does is put you back into a place of empowerment and taking responsibility, first of all, for everything that you've created thus far. Because remember, the choices you've made is what is creating the kind of experience you have in your life right now. So empowering you, taking your responsibility, and also empowering you that now with the practical, useful information that we gather based on your divine nature, now you get to know or make better choices based on that awareness. With also soul alignment, you get to heal energetically through the Akashic records by setting an intention to clear out all the negative karmic patterns that you've picked up, both in this lifetime and also in previous lifetime. Clear it out from your blueprint so that now going forward, you no longer have this need to keep on attracting the same experiences, the same patterns over and over again in an attempt for your soul to resolve these karmic experiences for yourself. So with soul element, it's healing through the Akashic records. But please remember that no healer actually heals you, it's you healing yourself. So this beautiful modality is just giving you the information. And by you just saying yes to clearing this information, you get to heal yourself. The only thing that a practitioner does is just set the intention. And by giving you the information, you get to heal yourself from all those experiences, all those choices, all those mistakes you made in your past life and even now. So the second modality I work with again is quantum flow, which is all about, it's an embodiment mechanism that is a transformational experience that helps you rewire your body, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic well-being into its highest state. It's a powerful practice that is helping you rewire and release all the trauma, all the emotional blockages that you've picked up all the way from childhood until now, all those limiting patterns, all those limiting beliefs, all those limiting stories that have really kept you living a limited experience, and tap into embracing inner peace, a heightened sense of clarity, helping you tap into your natural flow, your flow state, awaken your creativity, awaken your full potential, awaken your well-being in all these areas of physical, emotional, mental, all those emotional well-being. You might experience a bit of this if you tapped into some of the meditations that I've done and also the meditation that I'll be doing to go hand in hand with this particular live session. So remember that the meditations that I do is just a small taste of what quantum flow is. Quantum flow is a lifestyle. So one session is not just enough to clear all the stories that you've carried with you for all of these years, for some of us even decades, right? All the stories that you've actually imprinted within your unconscious mind. It might take some time for you to release it, but with quantum flow, because you're not just working on your mindset, you're working on all these layers of your being, you actually get to soon by scanning the QR code that's showing up on your screen right now. Or I'll be leaving a link down below in the description box. So just go there and start by booking a discovery session with me, where we're actually going to determine whether any of these modalities are a fit for whatever it is you're going through in your life. And if they are, then I'll invite you to book a session with me. You can either book a soul element reading with me or a quantum flow session. But remember, with quantum flow, one session is really powerful. I'm not saying that because you can tap into that, but I will recommend going deeper with this and tapping into different practices with this quantum flow methodology. So I do offer an 8-week course where I get to work with you one on one with whatever you're going through in life and helping you release whatever limiting patterns in one particular area of your life. And you get recordings that you can tap into over and over again to help you really embody this practice and go deeper into awakening more of who you are. So if you're curious again, make sure you check out the link in the description box, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope I will see you on the next live. Make sure that you tune in to catch the quantum flow meditations once it drops, to go hand in hand with embodying everything I've talked about today. So thank you so much, and sending you so much love. Make sure you grow, you evolve, you learn in any kind of way this week, and I'm looking forward to hearing